Hello and welcome to the podcast from Stress to Success Blueprint. I'm your host, Lolita Guarin, and today's episode 178. And we are continuing the conversation about, well, success in your life. Are you being successful so far? And if you're not, what is holding you back? And what are the things that you have to do in order to be successful? You're not doing it, or they're stressing you out, or what the mistakes that you're doing, especially today. I'm going to talk about self talk. That's very negative. Negative self talk. Yeah. It's like, oh my gosh, can we just stop talking about this because we've already been talking so much about little voice in our heads, and we should talk nicer to ourselves and all of this. Yeah. Here's the problem. It's not really that easy to let go of the self-talk, especially if it's negative, because you see, like everything else that we learn in our childhood, all those behaviors, those patterns that I keep talking about, like, how do you see success? What is that you do? Your actions towards success. How do you feel about success? Is it successful? Is a great thing in your family, or it's not? Um, all of those patterns that you learn also reflect how you talk with yourself. And one thing that, there was a time when I read something about self-talk and it just blew my mind. It was that you talk to yourself the same way as your authorities talked to you. hmm And by authorities, I mean your parents, your caregivers, it matters, where you grew up, who was your authority. Could be, your older brother was your authority. How do you talk to you? This is how you talk to yourself. Let's take a minute and ask yourself now, how do you talk to yourself? And then ask yourself, how does that authority talk to you? Maybe still now, still talking to you. Are you one of those who scold yourself for every little mistake you make? Are you afraid to make, any failure because you will be talking down, really conversation having with yourself? That's very, very negative. Have you heard the saying that you need to parent yourself? It's so easy to say, isn't it? Well, parent yourself. It's like, okay, well, that's great. But if you come from a dysfunctional family where parenting was not done at best, this is how you're going to parent yourself. You will be parenting yourself with a negative talk. You will be continuously telling yourself what a bad job you're doing. You will tell yourself, oh, stop it. Oh, you're such a loser. Oh, you could have said that better. And you will never be satisfied with yourself. Also, another thing, well, okay, we just talked about negative conversation with yourself, but also let's talk about also positive conversation with yourself. Do you give yourself credit with the things that you do well? Like you actually tell yourself, like, oh yeah, I nailed this one. This is really good. Like, oh yeah, I did that conversation, that presentation, I did good. I look great. How much of that do you do? Yes, there are people who don't have a negative talk because all they do is having a positive conversation with themselves. And I'm not going to label anyone, but you can guess. I'm talking about someone who's still probably listening to this video who has this little bit negative conversation. So, what is that you do with that? First of all, you start identifying. How is that you talk to yourself when something happens? Are you like allow yourself to have any failure? And how do you talk to yourself when, let's say, something happened, or you're in pain, or you need to take a break or something? Do you allow yourself to do that? Or you push yourself and say, no, no, get up, stand up, let's go, run, run. You keep on bulldozing yourself into success. Um, and then start writing down. Write down all that negative, specifically negative talk, that conversation. And then you ask yourself, where is this really coming from? Where did I hear those things about me? Who talks like that? And if you are a little bit unclear, holiday season's coming. I know, I cannot believe it. It's like November 1st today, isn't it? Um, when you hang out with your family, if you still have it, or if you will be hanging out with them, pay attention how everybody talks to each other. And then try to compare how you talk to yourself and find the patterns. And very good idea when you already come up with that kind of like a writing down a list of things. Okay, yeah, I use the same sentence as this, and this. And then you identify where is it really coming from, and then you disqualify it. Mhm. That could be very stressful because we are such a human beings that we want to belong to a group and we want to be loyal in order to survive. So if you realize that, oh my gosh, this is how my mother talks to me, that's how my father talks to me, and you may be afraid to disqualify that talk because it's coming from your caregiver, somebody who well gave you life and gave you food, and hence you're afraid to break that loyalty because then you will feel like you're going to die. Good news, you're not a child anymore and you can take care of yourself. So it's time to grow up and understand also that your parents or your caregivers probably also coming from dysfunctional environment that they didn't know how to behave better anyway. The only way for do this is through forgiveness and understanding and saying, you did great, the best that you could. It's not really serving me, and I want better for myself. So I'm going to pay attention what I talk, how I talk to myself, and then I will change that talking. So you have to be kind to yourself. Be your own friend, not your parent. Don't parent yourself. Befriend yourself. You have friends, right? You would not be mean to them, right? Like the good friend, yes, you can have a little, blowout and lose your marbles for a little bit and they will be still loving you, would they? Yeah. But if you will continuously, being rude to them, they will not be your friend. They're like, stop abusing me. I'm not talking to you anymore. This is how you should behave with yourself. Yes. And have that inner conversation. So I would like to hear in the comments below, do you have any thoughts about that? And who would be those that put the negative conversation in your mind? Maybe you already long time ago decided that you had some conversations, but now you're successfully over that and you train yourself how to let go of this. I would love to hear your success story, so leave me a comment below. And if you would like some more help with your coaching, with stress management, with achieving success and all that jazz, go to my website, beamazingyou.com, and book a session. And there's something else coming up. I am already start booking. Um, I'm so excited. Interviews with other people, amazing people that will be talking about, their success and their stress management. Because probably by now you're already sick and tired of hearing me. You're like, oh my gosh, you're just gonna talk with somebody else. I'm looking like tired of it. Those are not going to be 10 minutes conversations. They will be between 30 minutes and an hour. So we will be expanding because I think when I'm already inviting someone and they taking their time, I would like to hear a little bit more than just like 10 minutes. So those will be the bonus. Probably. I don't know how I'm gonna put them, but they probably will be the bonus sessions. Yeah, so I'm super excited. If you're still watching this video and you find that is useful, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you have not that already and you're the first time listening. Welcome to my channel. And yeah, so until tomorrow.